doom and gloom, or optimist? Grandma's porch, a place to relax, a place for calm, a place to enjoy. Grandma's porch. Doom and gloom, or optimist. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. But I just got in from my 5-mile run, and it was cold, 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 like in the 30s out there, but sunny. But I got out there anyhow. I just bundled up and did my 5-mile run. Well, I got to thinking about doom and gloom or being an optimist. Now, as y'all know, I've talked about that I'm an optimist, but I'm a realistic optimist. I'm a person who looks at, the real circumstances, and I try to figure out how I can turn them positive. And so I'm very realistic. And yet, with everything that's been going on in the news and of late, and life can throw things at people, it's easy to become all doom and gloom. It really, really is. And I understand that. So my husband and I last night were driving. We went out and looked at all the Christmas lights, and maybe if I can, I'll either do a separate video or put the Christmas lights at the end in one of my videos. And so last night we were talking as we were driving, looking at the Christmas lights. And I said to him, I said, oh, I don't know about 2021. It's going to be, there's so much going on in the world in so many different ways. And even though I consider myself a realistic optimist, it almost sounded sort of doom and gloom coming from me, an optimist. And he said, honey, it's going to be a fabulous year. It's going to be a fantastic year. 2021 is going to be a fantastic year. And I said to him, you are a fantasy optimist. And he said, well, you know what? It's better to be a fantasy optimist than all doom and gloom. And I thought, you know what? He's so right. He's so right. Of course, I believe in being realistic, but I loved his attitude. It's all going to be great, honey. It's going to be a wonderful year. Even if things don't turn out great, when you gear your mind towards the positive, often you will even see more difficult and challenging times from a positive lens. And I believe it's important, if for me, going forward, to see things as an optimist, even if it's a bit on the fantasy side. Because I think we tend to do better, as long as we're being realistic. If there's a tornado coming, or a really bad storm, and I'm this fantasy optimist, and I stand out there and say, well, it'll just pass by. It'll pass over us. And I stand out there and then I get blown away. Then that's not being realistic. I think a realistic optimist would say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go indoors. All doom and gloom would stay out there and just say, it's going to hit me, so I might as well stay out here. But a realistic optimist would say, no, you know what? I'm going to go indoors and I'm going to take cover. And hopefully it will pass us by. And I think for me, though, I think I combine kind of being a realistic optimist with the fantasy optimist. As long as I'm doing everything preventative and I'm doing everything right and everything that I can do, and I'm looking at, what can, the potentials, the negatives, and I do my very best at either avoiding them or dealing with them, then I think I'm going to be a fantasy optimist. one who is going to believe that everything is going to be okay. Whether it is or whether it isn't, I like that attitude so much better. And I think things tend to turn out better when we think towards the positive. My daddy used to say, it's all going to turn out okay. It's all going to be all right. I always remember that. And my mama used to say, we'll get through this. We'll work through this. So in a sense, they were very positive people. And so I think for me, when my husband said that, and I kind of said back, well, you're a fantasy optimist. He said, it's okay. I really liked his attitude. It was like, hey, yeah, it's all going to be great. Even if, we're being realistic and we're looking at the realistic side, because, when you look at it realistically, often you can see what you need to see and navigate around it, through it, or however, and often use those circumstances to your own advantage. And so for me, I want to be an optimist in 2020. From my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope to talk to you soon again. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and shout out my channel to everyone you know. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Porch, a place to relax and a place to enjoy. Grandma's Porch.